car, or I'll blow whatever little brains you have out.
Hey retro babes, it's GOOGii from the future here, aka GOOGii. I'm your favorite Afro-futuristic retro babe, and today we're getting into another episode of Cratfy B Chronicles. I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited that I stressed out for an hour and a half doing my makeup. So you know what? Appreciate it. Look at it. I don't know if I like it or not, but here we are. This is my JT inspired house bunny makeup, and I have a wonky lash. Cratfy B Chronicles is my series where I revisit my favorite movies. And I know I say every movie is my favorite movie, but I'm a movie buff, y'all. I cannot help it. And I look at how the babe of the movie, the star of the movie, got her dream life. So today we're gonna be talking about House Bunny. I love House Bunny, and what's so funny is I love that it's trending again on TikTok. Even Anna Faris was like, she can't believe that this movie after all these years is trending again. Rewatching this movie, I love it 10 times more. This movie is so wild. Even like the acting where they show how a lot of it was fake. I don't know why we get so shocked when we realize that movies are fake. It's literally just a play that's being filmed. That's all a movie is, especially back then. I mean, they had special effects and stuff, but they just weren't using special effects, CGI all willy-nilly. They shot, got the point, and then made the next shot. They weren't caring about all that. And honestly, you got the story anyway. I love this movie because it was made by Happy Madison, you know, the Adam Sandler movies, but Adam Sandler never really makes movies for women. And this movie was for women, and I loved it because it had some crazy scenes that only Happy Madison would do. Shelly is my fave babe. She is my favorite bimbo. I relate to Shelly so much I cannot even explain. I love Shelly as a bimbo because it's not that she's dumb. It's that y'all think she's dumb.
Can you really be that dumb?
She's actually really freaking smart, and I feel that because I was called ditzy all the time growing up. People will laugh at my takes, but I actually had a point. I actually knew what the fuck I was talking about. It's just y'all didn't comprehend the way I was saying it. That's all. This movie is about finding your found family. This movie is about unlearning the male gaze. This movie is about putting yourself first and loving yourself. This movie is about how we sometimes cosplay as a mask to get what we want or what we think we want or how we think we should be instead of loving ourselves. And y'all, let me not even get into the soundtrack. If you are, I guess, a millennial or an earlier Gen Z, you know the Ting Tings. Y'all know the Ting Tings, and the Ting Tings were all up in this soundtrack, and I fucking loved it. So in the beginning of this movie, Shelly was an abandoned child from the Midwest. Now I mean old school abandoned, like left on a doorstep. And I just love the way Shelly talks about herself. It's like she's a realist and she understands like what's going on and what's happening, but the way she relays it is more of like a storyteller. The way she speaks, more of like in metaphors and more of like whimsical.
If I thought you all were quitting, oh, my heart would just fall out of my head.
But I think that's just how she processes her hurt. So she was the unpopular ugly duckling that somehow in high school just blew up and got pretty, and it landed her in the Playboy Mansion where she found her first found family. I relate to this so much, y'all, because I was bullied so much in school. All throughout grade school I was bullied, and the first 2 years of high school I was heavily bullied. The summer before junior year I was like, okay, we got to figure this out. I want to change my image. I want to be a whole new person. And I identity shifted. And then somehow I went from the unpopular, quiet, and shy person to the girl who was dating guys on the football team and got on prom court. And in my head the whole time, I still felt like the uncool girl. So I don't know how that happened, but it did. I love the fact that Shelly found her found family, because being abandoned as a child, being adopted, you're gonna always have abandonment issues. As someone who is adopted, it's just a part of the thing. You just have to deal with it. And you always want to find where you belong. You always want to find your found family. And Shelly definitely found that in the Playboy Mansion. Hugh Hefner loves her. He loves Shelly. Though she's not one of the 3 of Hugh Hef's girlfriends, he still loves and adores her. And y'all, her room Why I love all these movies and their apartments be top tier. Shelly's room, I need to do a room makeover and have my room look like that. Like, her room is just amazing. So Shelly's ultimate goal, or at least she thinks, is to be in the centerfold of the November issue, specifically the November issue of the Playboy magazine. She thinks it'll be the highest honor and people will look at it and say, hey, that girl's naked in the middle of a magazine.
Being a centerfold is the highest, most prestigious honor there is.
This girl literally made her whole career at this point from just being pretty. She was living rent-free, buying whatever she wanted on Hugh Hef's tab.
Are we just the luckiest girls in the whole world?
Yes, you are.
Having the time of her life in her early to mid-20s, and then her 27th birthday came up and everything changed for her. And y'all, this is what I call her Saturn Return. Saturn Return is technically when you're 28, but we'll go with 27. So a Saturn Return, which some people could call a quarter life crisis, it's not really, because I feel like quarter life crisis is when you're younger, like when you transition out of your childhood friends to your adult friends, when you go to like college and when you graduate college. But Saturn Return is initially like you like question life. It's when you sit back and reflect on who you are. During that time, people sell everything they have and move away. Some people just cut off all their friends. Some people get really closer with their friends. But Shelly had hers when she was 27. During her 27 blow up bash, it was the time of her life, and her wish, of course, for her 27th birthday was to be the centerfold of the November issue of Playboy. And when she woke up on the morning of her birthday, she received a letter from Hugh Hefner saying that she aged out and he wanted her to leave.
Please move out of the mansion immediately.
It was the most devastating thing because she thought her world was amazing until one day it wasn't. The Saturn Return. That's when she realized that 27 is like 59 in bunny years, which is so crazy, the ageism. It's so crazy because Shelly is hot. How the hell is 27 old? That's how I feel about some of y'all coming for people who are 27, 30, even like 40, calling them old. I did it too when I was younger, but I'm like, this is the face of 32, almost 33. I look good. I'm gonna look even better when I'm 40. So when she got kicked out of the house, she literally had nothing. She couldn't even take her cat Pooter with her. She just was living in her car, and it landed her in jail. I just feel bad for the girlies who go through it and just end up in jail. Like, if you guys watched my last video, Just My Luck, Ashley went from being the luckiest girl in the world to ending up in jail, like in the same night. It was crazy. Y'all should go watch that video, by the way. As a neurodivergent girly, because Shelly takes things literally, she doesn't understand or comprehend what she's saying can get her in trouble.
Just doing what he said. He was in a uniform and everything.
When you've been bullied a lot, especially growing up, you learn your way into making friends. Some people, they become comedians. Some people, they become like the smart one that everyone goes to. And for Shelly, she became the beauty queen. She uses her wits and her talents to give people advice to make friends, because that's how she knows how to make friends.
I like your tights. And, you know, you should really go for a more natural look. All that heavy makeup just hides your beauty.
And I resonate with that a lot because I used to be the jokester. That didn't work for me because I just ended up being mean and being a bully just like they were. Then I was like the smart one and I was sick of doing all the work. Now I'm basically like the beauty one, and that's how I connect with people, through my beauty, fashion, hair, and makeup, which is probably why you're watching my channel in this video. So she went from being scared in that jail cell to actually making friends and giving beauty advice. And she's the type of girl who's like a true girl's girl. She is not like discriminate or nothing like that. Everybody can win. Everyone can eat. Hell, I was abandoned. Who the fuck am I to judge anybody? And as a manifestation girly, a law of assumption girly, if you're not into those things, I'm so sorry. That's what this channel is for. So you might want to click off. But anyway, so there was this moment of fate where when she stepped out of the jail, she saw sorority girls pass her and she tried to talk to them, but they ignored her. But instead of just like getting down and out, she ended up following them because they look like her. And to be honest, the Playboy Mansion is kind of like a sorority. It gives the same vibe, just without the college and the school involved. It just so happens when she followed them into their sorority house, the house mothers of all the sororities were having a meeting. And she asked if she could be a house mother. Of course, no one took her seriously.
This is not a brothel.
Oh, I'm not looking to make soup.
Sometimes when you're pretty and you're smart, but people think you're ditzy, they just don't take you seriously. They think that you value your looks over your brain, which is dumb. Like, hello, I can be multifaceted. I can be both. But one really nice house mother came up to her and told her to try the Zeta house. And this is the point where I keep on telling you guys, what you're desiring literally is desiring you. What you need actually needs you. It's manifesting you. Okay, for her going to the Zeta house, the Zetas needed a house mother. They didn't have one. They were gonna lose their chapter if they didn't have enough pledges.
My name is Shelly, and I'm here to be your house mother.
Shelly knows how to get males' attention. It was a perfect meeting living in the Playboy Mansion, learning how to be a beauty queen, like literally her whole profession. At first, yes, they judged her because they're the smart, unattractive house.
In order to be in a sisterhood, now we have to be popular. In order to keep our house, we do have to be popular.
So they thought, how can this girl who seems so superficial help us? In less than 5 minutes, she had brung all the boys to the yard. And the reason they questioned her coming into the sorority house, they have their own set of values that go against being in a sorority, but they're in a sorority, if that makes sense. The stereotype of the sorority, they're so against that.
So this is how we're gonna get pledges? Hiring an archaically superficial reflection of the male fantasy?
They're actually girls who are friends, who have their own identities, who are all unique, have their own styles, and don't judge each other. Like, that's the basis of the Zeta house. And they just felt like Shelly would come in there and try to change them and ruin everything. But honestly, y'all, that's not Shelly's style. Even though, yes, Shelly does put on the appearance for the male gaze because that's what she knows, that's what she was taught, she's not really centered around that. What she really wants is sisterhood. This journey is really her understanding and navigating the true meaning of sisterhood and how sisterhood can save lives. I've never seen anything more neurodivergent than Shelly repeating names so she can remember them.
This here is Harmony. Harmony.
And as a girl who's so bad with names, I thought this was so genius and funny and cute. And she's just the most charming person. She's just so charming. And the best part is she doesn't even realize she's being so charming. She's just being herself. People like insulting her because she brushes it off so much. They think that she's too dumb to even understand the insults, but she knows they're insulting her. She's not dumb. She just chooses to ignore that because that's not going to ruin her shine or her day, especially if she doesn't understand what the word means. If you insult me and I don't understand what the word means and you try to use that as another insult, that just gives you more energy, because if I don't understand it, it don't affect me. And even if I do understand it, it don't affect me. I get to choose what affects me. Hello, I'm a powerful bitch. I truly believe this is a well-rounded movie, even though it's like more of slapstick funny. And there's so many characters you can go in depth with this movie. I mean, they were in a sorority house. I am specifically only gonna focus on Shelly. I really encourage you guys to watch this movie. And I am gonna talk about Oliver. I love Oliver and Shelly's meet cute.
My name is Shelly, and I like long walks and hate rude people.
Because they're both just literally their authentic selves in that moment. He's handing out flyers and Shelly's just being herself. And when she repeats his name, he doesn't even flinch. He just thinks it's normal.
I'm Oliver.
Oliver.
Yes.
He doesn't make her feel dumb when she automatically doesn't understand something, which I love. Because your girl literally used to have a boyfriend who would call me an idiot. I think they were just such a perfect pair. Since he works at a nursing home, he literally works with people who have, in a sense, been abandoned by their family and left alone. And she relates to that because she did grow up in an orphanage. I want to speak on Shelly's metaphors really quick because I think it's so important about the way that she decides to communicate.
I love having my mouth enveloped.
People think she's dumb and it pisses me off, and that's why I love this movie so much. I remember when I used to like say things and people would laugh at me, and then I would have to like look it up to show them, hey, this is this. Shelly makes comments that people think she's dumb or too optimistic.
Do you understand how moronic you sound when you say your heart is gonna fall out of your head?
But she understands exactly what she means. They just don't get it. And it's funny how she takes things literally when people say them, But when she's being sarcastic, people take her literally. But the difference is that when they don't understand something she says and they're rude, she gently corrects them.
I totally understand why that saying sounds mixed up, but I don't mean it for real. Sometimes logic tells you to do something, but you have to have part of your heart in it as well.
Like, no, I know what I meant and I know what I said. This is what I meant. And I love how she mispronounces words or gives meanings to things that don't seem to make sense. I think it just all adds to her charm. You know, any good 2000s movie wouldn't be complete without a makeover. Shelly shows these girls how to enhance their features that they already have.
The eyes are the nipples of the face.
Be more attractive, speak to men because they are a little scared of them and how to conform, and showing them how it's not as hard. You just have to put yourself out there a little bit. From the water bra to the house yard makeover to removing piercing. And it just is so interesting because men really don't like piercings. That's one of the ways that you could like veer off men. Well, majority of them. The ones who are more so on like, you know, attracted to things that are in proximity to whiteness, they do not like piercings. They don't like a bunch of tattoos. I remember when I would go get my piercing, the guy who was piercing me would actually try to talk me out of it because he didn't want me to ruin my pretty little face. I love how even during the reveal, you saw how each girl still kept their individuality for the most part. She didn't completely change all of them. Like the girl who had the alternative look still gave like grungy-ish. They all actually got more confidence, which is what I love. And most of that had to do with the way that Shelly just spoke confidence into each and every one of them when they thought they couldn't do things.
You don't need to hide anymore.
She didn't push them too much, but she gave them like a firm nudge to get where they needed to be, because no one has ever believed in them enough to even care. I feel like when people like push you, they care. Now when people push you too much, they're being weirdos or trying to change you and get you to do something that they think you should be doing. Joanne was one of the girls who had been wearing a brace for 4 years past the time that she was supposed to take it off, which is something else I relate to because I'm a scoliosis girly and I wore a brace in grade school and I hated it. I wanted to take it off, but that's not my story. Anyway, she was scared to see what it would look like, and it was hindering her from asking the guy she likes out because the guy she likes, he's a runner, and Joanne has a very athletic build. She's just too scared. She thinks her body's gonna be deformed.
I'm really good. I'm good. Thanks.
We're too scared to embrace change or embrace of letting go things because we don't know what the unknown is gonna look like. And Shelly just is like, girl, just go after him. Run after him and ask him on a date. And while running after him to ask him on a date, her brace breaks off and it reveals her amazing body. Oh, I love that he already knew who she was and you could clearly tell he liked her too. I think they were just too scared to ask each other out. Something that I had to learn how to do, and I'm still learning how to do, that Shelly does flawlessly, is speak up for herself. Shelly's not afraid to go after what she wants. She's not afraid to look dumb because they already think she's dumb anyway, so why not embrace it? And that's why I love me a good bimbo. The girl just says kindness is love with her work boots on, and I love that quote. Let's talk about Snake Hater Bitch 1. So, like I said, everyone loves Shelly. Like everybody. She's so charismatic, and the people who don't like her, Shelly don't pay no mind to anyway. They're not even in her level, even in her field, okay? Snake Hater Bitch 1 is this girl who is also living in the Playboy Mansion, but she wasn't like one of Hugh Hef's girlfriends. She was just a playmate living there, like Shelly. And she was jealous of Shelly's shine.
Are you a centerfold?
Oh, she wishes.
I'm just like, girl, why are you even jealous of her? She's not even the main one. And that's what I want to tell y'all. You could think that you're not even the main bitch. Shelly hasn't even been in the centerfold, and there will still be people gunning for you, jealous of you. They can see your shine and see your potential before you can. Remember when I told y'all that? They can see your shine and see your potential before you can. And they try to break you down in any way possible. And for this girl, she manipulated the bartender who works there into writing a fake note saying that Hugh Hefner wanted Shelly to move out and wrote a note to Hef saying that Shelly moved out. And it's just like, girl, why are you even so jealous? Why are you even so jealous? And it ended up backfiring because instead of getting the centerfold that she wanted to take from Shelly, Hugh Hefner was so depressed. He didn't even want to talk to nobody or do nothing. He didn't understand why Shelly would just want to up and leave. I feel like it's that blonde versus brunette thing that I will never understand because I'm not white. But like, the girl was brunette and Shelly was blonde. I don't know if there's like this rivalry. Can y'all tell me more about that? Because I don't get it. In the spirit of pushing people, there's this girl named Natalie, and she's the one who ended up vouching for Shelly in the first place to live in the Zeta house. Natalie is like the leader of the Zetas. She's the one who really wants them to step out their comfort zone.
Well, guys like her. And since guys don't like us,
she's the one who loves Shelly down and always supports Shelly through all her decisions because she wants to meet boys too. She's in love with this boy named Colby, and she's just never spoke to him before. So Shelly's the one who helps her out. Natalie is the other side of like neurodivergency, where she's an oversharer. And I think that's why they click so much, because there's two sides of the same thing. And I will say that Shelly's way of getting like men's attention is way superficial, but honestly it worked. You gotta think about it. These are college boys. All they're thinking about is sex in school. Like, that's it. She tells Natalie to make it seem like she's unavailable to Colby to get his attention.
Oh, Bobby and Zach from Kappa are just dying to meet you. I'm sorry, Colby, but Natalie is a very hot commodity.
So he can remain the chaser and her the chasee. And this is like textbook level male attraction type of shit. This is not for like deeper connection. This is just to get the man, I guess. I want to talk about this specifically because there's a huge conversation that has been going on for years about pick-me's. And I think I saw a therapist point out pick-me's are a result of misogyny and the result of the patriarchy. And this is how women have just dealt with what they've been handed as a way to survive. And some are just too brainwashed that they just will never come back to reality. Like, hello. But some of them, this is just their way to survive. They had to use their looks. You notice most of the pick-me's are older women, and most of the younger generation that are pick-me's love the aesthetic of older women, like that old money, super hyper feminine aesthetic. Not saying all pick-me girls are like that. I'm just speaking generally. This is also why I feel weary about women who talk about girls needing to cover up because you'll never get a man if you dress like this, look like this, act like that. And it's like, girl, maybe we want to do this for fun. Maybe we want to do this because we like it and we look hot. I saw another creator point out like the way that we dress in society today, and I mean normal wear, like literally just a tank top and some pants, was illegal not that long ago. So y'all, why are we letting a man's opinion dictate how we feel, how we dress, how we act, and how we speak? And that's what I love about this movie, because it dives into that. And I never thought it would have such depth. Shelly and Oliver finally go out on their date, and Shelly tries to do all of her tricks.
Maybe it's over here by this manhole.
I feel as women, especially women who like have been dating for a long time, we have those like tricks and tips that we do in the pick-me way to get a man, because you want to get picked. So you do certain things to get picked, and that's what Shelly has done. That's how always been her way of survival. She's never had a man who's actually cared more about her than just her appearance, and she knows that sex sells. So she goes out of her way and puts this mask on of this hyper feminine, hypersexual woman, when honestly Shelly's just a cute little nerdy girl. At the end of the day, she's just a cute, hot, nerdy girl who loves fashion and makeup. She tried to seduce him by standing over a manhole and acting like Marilyn Monroe, and ended up getting burns on her legs.
That's fucking hot! Oh!
From the hot steam. Everything she did was just such a fail, to the point that she even tried her trick that she told Natalie to do with Colby, where she seemed unavailable at the end, talking about how she was gonna go on another date. And how unattractive is it to go on a date with a man who is actually wants there and wants to get to know you, and you sit up there and talk about you gotta hurry this date up because you have other men? And then I have to remember she's in her 20s. I have to remember that. But still, once she said that, and once she made it known that, hey, you're not the only one on the roster. I got this whole long list. He was over it. He was like, oh, okay. I dealt with the manhole thing. I dealt with your weird sexual advances when I'm asking you real questions to get to know you. All of that. And then at the end, you say that you're dating other people. Like, why are we even doing this? And he was just done with the date. He was just over it. She just couldn't understand why she failed. She couldn't understand why none of her tricks worked. And like I told y'all before, what you're desiring is desiring you. What you want can actually help you. She was helping the girls get men, but now they have the chance to help her because they realize this is a man who actually wants a smart girl. So because he didn't like her sexual advances, they thought, oh, okay, he doesn't like the sexy girl. He likes the nerdy, smart girl who knows things, as if there's no in between of these two archetypes. God forbid a man actually wants to get to know you and ask you questions and actually loves you for who you are from the beginning. God forbid, no, you have to put on another mask. So now she's dressing like the smart girl. She's cosplaying, putting on the glasses, giving that whole sexy librarian look that we all know and love.
You know what? You're still too sexy.
And at the same time that she's doing that, the girls of the Zeta house have put on their mask. So much so that, remember when I told y'all in the beginning how people do certain things to survive bullying? Well, those girls are being bullied. They start to do what they know to get them the good attention instead of the bad attention. Like I said in the past with me personally, I tried to be the jokester in grade school, and I ended up starting to act like the bullies that were bullying me, and I didn't like that, so I stopped it. In this movie, they started to act like the popular girls, the popular mean girls that they once hated, just like them. And I feel like there's this conversation about identity shifting going on, and I personally have spoken on identity shifting. I do not think identity shifting is a bad thing. I do not think even cosplaying as someone different, putting on a new self, is necessarily a bad thing. But I think when you do it to hide is the problem. When you actually sit back, think, and look back, you realize that everybody is cosplaying every day to a certain extent. It's just, you have to know the core of you before you put anything onto the outward. That's why they say inner beauty is more important than outer beauty. I think they go together. You can't have one without the other. Really, truly don't believe so. And let's not be dense here. I do not mean outer beauty as in wearing wigs and lashes and stuff. Outer beauty looks different to different people. For me personally, I could go without all this, but I need my piercings. That's my version of my outer beauty. I think the period of when you change yourself or when you're identity shifting is important and is necessary because you realize the things you like and the things you don't like. Think of how artists do this. Like Rihanna, all of her albums are a different genre. She has a different look, a different aesthetic, even a different attitude she brings with every album. And with each one, she takes some things with her and she leaves some things behind. And that's how growth goes. So at this point, Shelly's in her transition phase. She's in the middle. She has to figure out which way she wants to go, who she really is. And that's the whole point of a Saturn Return. After some convincing, Oliver accepted another date with her. And this is when she was cosplaying as the Brainiac. And she had her index cards.
They're napkins. They're not index cards.
She was going all out with this. Someone clocked her for being a playmate. And she sat up there and denied it. She was like, oh, heck no.
Those girls are all boobs and no brains.
Y'all know that famous sound on TikTok. The date went worse than the first one because he caught her with the index cards and she just was so embarrassed that it all just went to crap. It all just went bad. The Zetas started to gain popularity, especially after they had a virgin party. Like I said, y'all, you gotta watch the movie to get the full story. I swear this movie is so funny and so good. I love it. Because they have so many pledges, they had to go through each one and they were ripping those girls to shreds in the meanest way. It was really cringy to watch because not that long ago, they were that person. And one of the girls calls them out on their behavior like, y'all, we're being stupid. We're acting like the popular girls that we hate. This is not who we are. When they took a look in the mirror at themselves, they realized that they have changed. Not only the outer beauty, but the inner beauty follows with it. That's what happens with identity shifting. The inner will change with the outer. Just the same way as if you change the inner, the outer will change. One cannot change without the other. It just does not work that way. The girls, instead of taking a look at themselves and how they got here, they blame Shelly. Because none of this happened until Shelly got here. And Shelly was so hurt because she had just came from that terrible date that she was just like, I understand. It's okay. I will remove myself from the situation. I love I'ma remove myself from a situation, bitch. Cause you wanna blame me for everything? Okay, I will remove myself. You are right. It was me who came here and started this and helped you guys, and it backfired. Who Shelly has been being her whole adult life isn't working for her anymore. And this new identity that she created also isn't working for her anymore. I hated that they blamed her because never has Shelly taught them to be mean. Never. She taught them how to be free in themselves and with their bodies and to get the attention of men. Now they can be mad at her for that, but she never, ever, ever, she's always held sisterhood at the top of everything else. They did that on their own because at the end of the day, they wanted to be popular girls. And when they were there, they realized that's not who they really are. She broke up with Oliver in a letter, went back to the mansion, and got her November Centerfold. Also told off that snake hater bitch for coming for her. You really thought that was gonna work. It's never gonna work. You may have had her down, but she got back bigger and better. Now that Shelly's gone, the girls of the Zeta house have the time to figure out who they want to be and what they want to represent. And I say that to anybody who's identity shifting. The whole point is to figure out who you want to be and what you represent. Who are you at your core? What do you want the world to see physically? And hello, your mind too. What do you want to represent? What do you stand for? That's the whole point of authenticity. It's also the mark of a good leader because now these girls are going to be the leaders of their house with all of these new pledges. They have to figure out what their house represents so they know what girls to bring in and how they're going to nurture and help them grow. They took both sides of the spectrum, they kind of met in the middle, and they have now this new refined look where they care a little bit more about the outer appearance, but it's not to the superficial level that it was before. Even to the point that Natalie went back to Colby and he complimented her on her new look and says it feels more her because it is her.
It's like I want you to be my girlfriend just because of your hairstyle.
She's not cosplaying a hot girl. She's not cosplaying a bad bitch anymore. She's also not the shy, timid girl that he used to know. And after talking to him a little bit more, you realize that he didn't talk to her because he's the goofy guy. Whole time she thought he was out of her league, but he understood her references. Like, there's a reason why he was attracted to her. There's a reason why she was attracted to him. They literally are the perfect match.
I want to be your girlfriend more than an electron wants to attach to a proton.
And let's talk about snake hater bitch number 2. This girl is a part of the Phi Iota Mu house, the popular girls that have been bullying them this whole time because they're hater bitches. And they wanted to break them down so the chapter goes away and they can have their house.
Well, don't get too used to that feeling, because there's no way that I'm going to let a hoary little tart like you stand in the way of the Phi Iota Mu.
Like, I fully believe people bully you because they want what you have. It might not be in the sense that you thought, but they want what you have. Those girls tried to break the Zetas down so they can get their house. They tried to make them feel like they couldn't do anything or couldn't get any pledges. And when they did get pledges and when they did start to get popular, they sabotaged their pledges so they could have them for themselves. And when Shelly got word of this happening when she was back at the Playboy Mansion, she immediately got up and went to go help her girls because she missed them and they missed her. She is a house mama and nobody's finna mess with her babies. In this moment, she knew she could never be a playmate again. She knew that she had her found family. She finally found her sisterhood and she had to go back to them. At the board meeting, when they were talking about the pledges and what would happen to the Zeta house, Shelly showed up and made this beautiful speech about acceptance and self-acceptance.
We need you to stand forward and be a part of that family.
How she learned that being pretty was a survival response because she was sick of being hurt. But at the end of the day, she's still this little hurt girl inside. Those words still hurt her. And throughout this whole journey, she learned to love herself, all aspects of herself. The ones that people hate and the ones that people love. The ones that she hates and the ones that she loves. And I also really hate, and I'm gonna say this again, I really hate when people are mean to her just because they don't understand her metaphors and what she means.
She's not dumb.
Thank you, Natalie.
Understand that so much so I started calling myself a bimbo. Like, I'm not gonna let you call me dumb. In the end, her speech is what got the pledges to stay And also the mean girl behavior from the president of Phi Iota Mu is what led the girls back into the Zeta's arms, because they didn't want to be a part of a house that's full of mean girls. Who wants to be in a house full of mean girls? Like, honestly, people want to be where they are loved and accepted and cherished. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's like this elitism in this society, but that gets old quick. You have to be really getting some benefits to deal with someone bullying you day in and day out just because they feel like they can. And if there's an alternative option where you still get benefits, you will take it. And Shelly got her man, Oliver. He never believed her letter anyway. He knew that they both like fucked up and they started over again, and he just wanted to know the real her. And I love that, because from the beginning, from the first time they met, he liked her for her, and that's all he ever wanted, to get to know more. People like you for y'all. You don't have to change or do anything different, but be you in any capacity of the way. If you're a girly girl, keep being that. If you're whatever, you know, way you like to adorn yourself or do your makeup or your hair, keep doing that. The person that love you will love you. I swear to God, I saw on TikTok the other day this man shaving his wife's chin hairs, and it was the most intimate thing I ever seen. And I'm just like, don't let these dumbass femininity coaches tell you you have to be a certain way to get a man. There's so many of them. Girl, bye. What I love about this story is no matter what it looked like, everything was working out for Shelly. From getting kicked out of the house, the Playboy Mansion house, to stumbling upon the sorority houses, to becoming a house mother. All of it worked in her favor, because in the end, she got her sisterhood, she got her found family. She has more friends than ever before who love her, for actually her. She's still friends with Hugh Hefner, and she got her man. Like, a win is a win. That's the end of the story. Don't forget to like this video if you loved it, and subscribe for next month's Cratfy Bitch Chronicles. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.